All right, call the June 26, 2024 West Consolidated Zoning Board to order. Can we have roll call, please?
Jeff Huff is absent. Craig Connell,
Here.
John DeGrand,
Here.
Terry Atwell is absent. Donna Getzman is joining us on Zoom.
Here. Can you hear me here?
Yes. Thank you, Donna. And Bob Paulson is also on Zoom.
Yes, I'm here.
And Roger Spears is absent. We do have a quorum, and I will proceed with the hybrid statement. This meeting is now being recorded in the board hearing room with zoning board members attending in person. There's also an option for virtual attendance on Zoom webinar. For Zoom participants wishing to speak, please use the raise hand function in the Zoom app at the start of the agenda item on which you desire to comment. Comments will be received from in-person attendees first, followed by Zoom participants. When it is your turn to speak, the moderator will recognize you by the name or phone number used to join the Zoom webinar. Please state your name and the city and state where you reside for the record, followed by your comments. All public speakers will be limited to 3 minutes unless the chair designates a different time period. If you have trouble with Zoom, please call 913-715-9666. Board members, staff, and presenters, please state your name every time you begin talking, and please speak into the microphone so that your comments can be transcribed for the record. This is a public meeting. We are presenting live and recording the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. The first item on the agenda is election of officers, and in consultation with Mr. Leipzig, we're going to postpone that to our next board meeting when we have hopefully a larger group of attending. Second thing is the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions proposed by any of the board members?
None.
Okay, hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the agenda? We can just approve the agenda, can't we, Jay?
Yes. You can.
Okay, all right, we'll proceed. Are there any disclosure of conflicts of interest or external contacts or discussions that the board needs to hear?
No.
No.
And Donna? You able to communicate with us?
There we go. None.
Okay, great. We'll proceed then without that. All right, approval of minutes. Are there any revisions proposed or any questions about the previous meeting minutes from the board? Okay. Hearing none, then do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
John DeGrand, I move that we approve the minutes.
Bob Paulson, I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Did we hear Donna or Donna, are you in favor? Approving
Yes,
the
aye.
minutes?
Yes.
Okay, great. Great. Minutes are approved. Okay, board reports.
This is Karen Miller, and I have a report of the Board of County Commissioners' actions. The BOCC approved a final development plan to allow an addition to an airplane hangar at New Century Air Center. The business is New Century Air Service.
Okay. Planning Commission actions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Jay Leipzig, the Planning Director. Just have one item to report regarding the Planning Commission. They met yesterday evening, June 25th, 2024. And on the agenda was an update from Johnson County Parks and Recreation District to provide an update to the Planning Commission on JCPRD projects throughout the county. They completed that. They also had their election of officers last night, and Lindsay Grisay was elected as the chair, and the vice chair was Fred Starrett.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, next is business before the board. First is application number 24-379-PP/24-380- FP, preliminary and final plat Edgewater Estates. We have a staff presentation for that.
Yes, thank you. Diane Wicklund, Johnson County Planning Department. So for this application, the applicant and landowners are Don and Sandra Idemiller. The site address or the subject property is nearby the northwest corner of 183rd Street and Edgerton Road, as you can see here on the vicinity map. So the applicant is proposing platting a 58.4 acre parcel into 4 residential lots to be known as Edgewater Estates second plat. The lot sizes are 11, 17, 18, and a nominal 10-acre lot, which includes the right-of-way area. All of the proposed lots will have frontage and direct access onto 183rd Street. No new streets are proposed with this application. Due to the floodplain and floodway areas on the property that are along 183rd Street, a shared driveway entrance is shown on Lot 3 in order to provide access to both lots 2 and 3. That shared driveway entrance is proposed in order to avoid driveways being located in the floodplain areas. In addition, that plat shows an ingress-egress easement across Lot 3 for the benefit of Lot 2. And I can show that plat here. So here's just an aerial view, the subject property that's outlined in blue, and that blue shaded areas are just shown the floodplain areas. This is just an aerial view of the surrounding area, and the subject property again is outlined in blue. Here's a copy of the final plat. That shared driveway entrance is circled in red. And then that kind of dotted line here is the easement where that the driveway will go across Lot 3 to get to Lot 2. And here's just a full copy of the preliminary plat. And then here's the final plat document. So the minimum infrastructure requirements were also reviewed. And so for these rural zone lots, they can have direct access onto the arterial road. And in this case, 183rd Street is a CARNAP designated type 1 arterial road. And so each driveway has to have at least 330 feet of street frontage. And so all 4 proposed lots exceed that minimum requirement. Also, just to note that a site distance study was submitted by the applicant and was reviewed and accepted by the County Public Works Department. And that study just shows that there's an area which complies with site distance requirements for each proposed driveway entrance, and that includes that shared driveway entrance. So kind of in summary, for the minimum infrastructure requirements, the proposed plat does meet all of those applicable minimum infrastructure requirements. Also to note, in the back of the staff report or the packet is a memo from the Public Works Department, a memo from the Water District 7, and then the building code official just also reviewed the proposed plat and stated that it does meet the requirements for fire hydrant placement and fire flow requirements. So therefore, staff does recommend approval of the preliminary and final plats for the 4-lot plat for Edgewater Estates second plat, subject to the stipulations that are listed on page 7 and 8 and 9 in the staff report. The reason for that recommendation of approval is because the proposed lots do comply with the county's subdivision regulations. And then I've got a proposed motion here for the board's reference if and when you're ready for that. With that, I can take any questions you may have.
Thank you, Diane. Okay, are there any questions from the board members? Any from Bob or Don?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
None from me.
Does the applicant want to make a statement? Applicant here, do they want to make a statement or?
There is a representative here, two representatives for the applicant. I don't know if you have any comments or not, but
Okay. Are there any public comments about this? Anybody in attendance or anybody online that wants to talk? Okay, hearing no comments, then I guess I'll entertain a motion.
Donna Getzman, I move or propose the motion that I move that the board approve the application number W 24-379 PP and W 24-3080 FP for a preliminary and final plat for 4 residential lots to be known as Edgewater Estates. Second plat for the reasons and subject to the stipulations recommended by the staff and set forth in the staff report.
John DeGrand, I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Craig Connell,
Aye.
John DeGrand,
Aye.
Donna Getzman,
Aye.
and Bob Paulson.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. Item B, application number 24-390. Oh,
Mayor Jay
sorry.
Leipzig, we do need to state when this item will be before the Board of County Commissioners.
Yes.
yes, thanks, Jay. So this will go to the Board of County Commissioners on July 25th at 9:30 in the morning. This County Administration Building, 111 South Cherry, here in this room.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item B is application number 24-390-ABUP, accessory building use permit, 25251 West 131st Street. And we have a staff report for that, please.
Yes, one moment. I need to get the documents pulled up.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So this is a request for an accessory building use permit, also known as an ABUP, to allow construction of a new detached accessory building to be located partially in the front yard in order to avoid steep slopes along the side and rear of the house. The building will extend 27 feet into the front yard with approximately 34 feet located behind the front building line and beside the house. Per the zoning regulations, accessory buildings are not allowed in the front yard in residential zoning districts unless first approved by an ABUP. So that's why we're here, to allow this accessory building to be in the front yard. And this one is partially in the front yard. The parcel is 1.4 acres and 1.84 acres in size. It's on property that's zoned RN1 Residential Neighborhood 1 District. The subject property is located in the vicinity of 135th and Lakeshore Drive, as you can see on this first vicinity map. The actual parcel is indicated with the red star. Here is a picture of the actual property. It's an aerial. The approximate location of the proposed building is shown with the red star. It's to the west of the applicant's existing residence, and the proposed location is approximately 125 feet from the nearest property to the west and approximately 170 feet from the nearest property to the east. And you'll notice that there's very dense vegetation along the west property line. There's also vegetation along the east property line. It's not quite as dense, but there is still a good amount of trees. And also the portion of the accessory building in front of the house will be well screened from the east by the existing home. This is part of the site plan submitted by the applicant, and it has the topographic lines, and the closer that the lines are together, the steeper the slope. Here you can see underneath this the existing house, and about halfway along the side of the house, it starts to get very steep. So in order to avoid the steep terrain, the applicant has pushed his building up to the north somewhat. And you can see it's a 50 by 50 building, and it has a 10-foot porch along the west and south property lines. It's approximately 28 feet from the west property line and about 114 feet to the street edge. And it's approximately 27 feet in front of the house. So here is the proposed building. You can see the north and west elevations. It's a 50 by 50 building, including a 10-foot deep covered porch on the south and west sides. It's approximately 18 feet tall. It's approximately 28 feet from the west property line and 97 feet from the front property line. And it's proposed to be used for storage of vehicles, lawn equipment, and household items. All of these proposed elements can conform to the zoning and subdivision regulations. And then to further describe the proposed building, it'll be a medium brown with white elements, which will coordinate with the lighter tan body and white trim of the existing house. It'll be clad with steel siding with vertical standing seams that will coordinate with the vertical lines of the house siding. It'll be oriented so that the roof gables face east and west, as do the house gables. It'll be screened by the existing dwelling. There's dense trees and vegetation along the west property line and trees in the front yard, and only partially in the front yard. So these next two slides will show a little bit more of the neighborhood. Here is 135th Street, and then that will turn into Wild Rose Lane that meanders up to the north and will eventually end in a cul-de-sac. The applicant's property is outlined in blue. The approximate location of the garage is with the red star, and you'll notice these red circles. There's 3 of them. Those are existing buildings, accessory buildings that are already in the front yard. So right now in this neighborhood, there's already some of those accessory buildings in the front yard. And here is the overall area. And the yellow is residential zoning and the green is RUR zoning. So here's 135th Street turning into Wild Rose. So this property is on the edge of a large area of RN1 zoning, and across the street, the RUR zoning starts. So planning reviewed the minimum infrastructure serving the site. This is not a requirement for a conditional use permit application. It's only suggested, and planning has found that minimum infrastructure is adequate for this proposed garage. We also reviewed all of the criteria in depth. I'll give a summary of the applicant's proposed the recommendation and stipulations and reasons. Staff recommends approval of the ABU permit to allow construction of the detached accessory structure to be located in the front yard, subject to 6 stipulations. I'll highlight 3 of them. The first is that the accessory building use permit allows the construction of a 50-foot by 50-foot building, which is 2,500 square feet, It'll be located in the front yard as shown on the attached site plan in accordance with the building elevations that will be attached to the approving resolution. Number 2 is the oversized accessory structure shall be used only for accessory uses permitted in the RN1 district and shall not be used in conjunction with a business or commercial activity. I've talked specifically with the application about that, and that's completely within his plans. And number 3, if there is outdoor lighting, it shall be guided downward and it shall not produce spillage onto adjacent properties. And number 6 is there is no term or expiration for an ABU permit. However, it is subject to termination and revocation for failure to comply with the provisions of the ABUP and the applicable requirements of the zoning and subdivision regulations. Planning staff recommends approval of this application for multiple reasons. I'll summarize those. The first is that the proposed accessory building is consistent with the surrounding RN1 and RUR zoning and the multiple existing accessory buildings located in the front yard. The second reason is that the proposed building will be compatible with the residential character of the neighborhood. I cite 6 reasons. Some of them are within the neighborhood, there's already existing buildings like this. Number 2, the structure will coordinate with the architectural style, building materials, and color of the existing residence. A third reason is only a portion of the garage will be located in the front yard, and it will be sited so that it's oriented towards the circle drive and house. Number 4, the building will be heavily screened from surrounding residences by dense vegetation and large setbacks. Number 5, views of the garage from the road will be partially screened by trees and a large setback from the street edge. And then the last reason for that section is the garage will comply with the size, height, and setback requirements of all of the underlying zoning district. Also, there'll be little or no detrimental effects to nearby properties. And then the hardship to the landowner will be difficulty in finding a satisfactory location for the building due to the steep slopes on the site. And with that, I'll point out that there's a proposed motion for approval on page 13 of the staff report. And I'll also note that planning has not been contacted regarding the application. And with that, I'm Karen Miller with the Planning Department, and I'll stand for questions.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Any questions from the board?
Donna Getzman, none.
Bob Paulson, I got more of a comment. I've looked out at the at that area, driven around. It's a no-brainer. We'd rather build it in front of the house and have them chase it down the hill. That's all.
All right, thank you, Karen. Any comments from the applicant? Is the applicant here? Okay. All right. Hearing no comments there. Any public comments? Anybody online that wants to comment, or anybody else in the room? None? Okay. All right, I guess I'll entertain a motion.
John DeGrand, I move that the board approve application number W 24-390-ABUP for an accessory building use permit to allow the accessory structure to be located in the front yard for the reasons and stipulations recommended by staff and set forth in the staff report.
Can we have a second?
Donna
Bob Paulson,
Getzman,
I'll
second.
Okay.
Thank you. Can we roll call, please?
Yes. Craig Connell,
Aye.
John DeGrand,
Aye.
Donna Getzman,
Aye.
and Bob Paulson.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
This application will be heard by the Board of County Commissioners on July 25th at 9:30 in the morning, and it'll be located in this hearing room, which is the 3rd floor of the County Administration Building, 111 South Cherry Street. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, is there any other business to bring before the board today? All right, hearing none, can I motion for adjournment?
John DeGrand, I
Donna-
move to adjourn.
Donna Getzman, second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you all.